Before we begin, pause the video and tell us in the comments which car brand you currently drive and whether you would buy it again. Today, we are looking at 12 car brands Australian buyers should approach very carefully in 2026. Some have stopped importing passenger cars, some have already left the country, and others are surviving with tiny sales numbers, aging models, or uncertain distribution arrangements. This does not mean every car wearing one of these badges is unreliable. A well-maintained used car at the right price can still make sense. The real question is, what happens after you buy it? Will there be enough dealers? Will parts arrive quickly? Will the model remain supported? And when it is time to sell, will another buyer accept the same risk? Brand number 1, Fiat. Fiat is the clearest warning sign because its mainstream passenger car presence in Australia has effectively disappeared. The brand has suspended new passenger car imports, including the electric Fiat 500e and its Abarth relative, after selling only about 144 passenger vehicles in the first half of 2026. Fiat will remain through commercial vans such as the Ducato, but that is very different from maintaining a healthy consumer car business. The risk is not that every Fiat will suddenly become impossible to repair. The problem is scale. When a brand sells very few passenger cars, dealers have less reason to hold model-specific stock, independent workshops see fewer of them, and used car shoppers become cautious. A stylish 500 may look affordable, but the saving can disappear if a specialized component takes weeks to source or the car becomes difficult to resell. Unless the price is exceptional and local servicing is confirmed, Fiat passenger cars are now a high-risk purchase. Brand number 2, Peugeot. Peugeot has not announced a full Australian exit, but its local business is going through a major reset. Inchcape is ending its distribution arrangement, with Stellantis taking control under a new model. Sales have also been sliding. Peugeot delivered 1,350 vehicles in 2025, down sharply from the previous year, and sales were lower again through the first 5 months of 2026. Importer transitions can affect stock planning, dealer confidence, marketing, and the speed at which new models reach showrooms. Peugeot still sells attractive hybrids, SUVs, and vans, but it remains a niche player beside Toyota, Mazda, Hyundai, Kia, and fast-growing Chinese brands. The biggest danger is paying a premium European price without receiving premium resale strength. Demand a strong discount, confirm the warranty arrangements during the transition, and ask where the vehicle will be serviced if your local showroom changes ownership or disappears. Brand number 3, Renault. Renault needs an important clarification. Despite claims that the Koleos has already been confirmed for withdrawal, it is still officially advertised in Australia in July 2026, with offers applying to MY25 stock. However, the concern is real. The current Koleos entered production in 2016. Its old 5-star ANCAP rating expired at the end of 2023, and Australia is still waiting for a clearly established long-term replacement strategy. The Koleos can be spacious, comfortable, and competitively priced, and it shares some mechanical DNA with Nissan. But a heavily discounted old-generation SUV can become expensive through depreciation. When a replacement arrives, or remaining stock is cleared, today's bargain may look much older overnight. Renault's Australian sales also fell in 2025. Do not confuse a long warranty or tempting drive-away offer with guaranteed resale demand. Check the build date, safety specification, replacement timing, and distance to your nearest authorized workshop. Brand number 4, Nissan. Nissan is not leaving Australia, and vehicles such as the Navara, Patrol, Qashqai, and X-Trail still have a meaningful customer base. The warning here is about product timing and value, not the survival of the brand. Australia has repeatedly waited longer than major overseas markets for important Nissan products, while competitors have launched fresh hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and electric SUVs more quickly. The Ariya electric SUV is one example. It was available overseas but delayed for Australia because of local design rule requirements. Nissan's Australian deliveries then fell by more than 21% in 2025. That does not make a Nissan a bad car, but buyers should be careful about paying full price for a model closer to an overseas update than local advertising suggests. Compare the Australian model year with what is already sold in Japan, Europe, and North America. With Nissan, the badge is not the danger. Buying yesterday's specification at tomorrow's price is. If this breakdown is helping you think beyond the shiny paint and monthly repayment, hit the like button and subscribe. We investigate ownership risks dealership advertising rarely explains, including discontinued models, shrinking networks, weak resale, and the difference between a cheap purchase and a genuinely affordable car. Your support helps us keep producing practical Australian car buying guides. Brand number 5, Citroën. Citroën is no longer selling new cars in Australia. It stopped taking new vehicle orders from November 1, 2024, and moved to a service and support operation. Citroën says existing owners still have access to 35 authorized service centers, factory-trained technicians, genuine parts and recall support, so it would be inaccurate to say owners have been completely abandoned. Even so, an exited brand carries resale uncertainty. Future buyers know there are no new Citroëns in local showrooms. Fewer mechanics build regular experience with them, and specialized body, electronic or interior parts may not be sitting on an Australian shelf. A C4, C5 Aircross or older Cactus may offer character for the money, but the discount must compensate for the smaller buyer pool later. Citroën can suit an enthusiast, with a trusted specialist nearby. It is harder to recommend as simple, low-stress transport for someone expecting Toyota-like convenience. Brand number 6, Holden. Holden is emotionally different from every other name here. It was once part of Australian identity, and many Commodores, Colorados, and locally developed models still have strong enthusiast support. General Motors committed to servicing and parts support for at least 10 years after the brand closed in 2020, and Holden's official ownership website remains active. But that does not make every used Holden safe. The biggest caution applies to lower-value imported models such as the Cruze, Captiva, Trax, and some late rebadged vehicles. As these cars age, a major repair can represent a large percentage of their total value. Parts may still be obtainable, but availability, repair time, and price are not what they were when hundreds of Holden dealers sold new cars. A documented V8 Commodore is a completely different proposition from a neglected Cruze bought only because it is cheap. Buy the exact model, not the nostalgia attached to the badge. Brand number 7, Infiniti. Infiniti withdrew from Australia in 2020 after failing to build enough momentum against Lexus, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi. Nissan's luxury division sold interesting cars, including the Q50 sedan, Q60 coupe, and QX80 SUV, and their used prices can now look extremely tempting. That temptation is why buyers need to slow down. Luxury cars do not become cheap to maintain simply because their resale value collapses. And Infiniti may share selected components with Nissan, but trim pieces, electronics, body panels, turbo engine components, and model-specific diagnostics can still require specialist knowledge or imported parts. There is also no active Australian new car showroom network protecting the badge's profile. The right Infiniti may suit an informed enthusiast with researched parts sources. For an average buyer wanting predictable servicing and easy resale, a similarly priced Lexus is usually safer. Brand number 8, Chrysler. Chrysler officially left the Australian new car market in 2021, after its range had shrunk to the 300 sedan. The 300 remains desirable because it offers bold styling, rear-wheel drive, and, in SRT form, a large V8. That enthusiast appeal can support selected examples, but it should not be mistaken for broad market support. The newest Australian-delivered 300s are aging, the model ended production overseas, and Australia has no active Chrysler showroom range. Mechanical support may overlap with other former Fiat Chrysler products, but collision parts, electronics, and unique SRT components can still be expensive. Modified cars add another risk, because many 300s have been tuned, lowered, or driven hard. A carefully inspected original example may be collectible. A cheap modified 300 with warning lights and no records can become one of the used market's most expensive bargains. Brand number 9, Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo still sells new vehicles in Australia, but its scale is tiny. Only 557 vehicles were delivered in 2025. At the same time, the next generation Stelvio was delayed, while Stellantis reconsidered powertrain plans, leaving the Giulia and Stelvio, both excellent driving vehicles, in unusually long model cycles. Alfa Romeo offers design and driving character mainstream brands cannot easily copy, but buyers must accept weaker resale demand and a smaller service footprint. The junior and updated Tonale may refresh the range, yet the local market remains small. A discounted Giulia or Stelvio can be excellent for an enthusiast who plans to keep it, maintains it properly, and has a specialist nearby. It is less attractive for someone who changes cars every 3 years and expects a painless trade-in. With Alfa, emotional value may be high, but financial predictability is lower. Brand number 10, Maserati. Maserati carries the greatest financial exposure on this list. It combines luxury car repair costs with very low Australian sales, just 264 vehicles in 2025, down 30%. And uncertainty around the brand's global turnaround. Falling international sales, delayed projects, and strategic reviews have raised questions about how quickly the range can recover. A Maserati that once cost well over 6 figures can appear beside a new mainstream SUV for a fraction of its original price. But depreciation does not reduce the cost of specialized suspension, brakes, electronics, tires, bodywork, or complex powertrains. It only transfers an expensive vehicle to a buyer with a smaller purchase budget. Unless you can afford maintenance linked to the original price, not the used price, a discounted Ghibli, Levante, or Quattroporte can be financially dangerous. Maserati is a passion purchase, not a bargain luxury shortcut. Brand number 11. Jeep is not exiting Australia, but local sales have fallen dramatically. Only 1,682 Jeeps were delivered in 2025, down more than 31%. A remarkable decline for a badge that once had a much larger mainstream presence. The Wrangler remains iconic, and the brand's off-road image is powerful. The concern is what shrinking volume can do to resale, dealer confidence, and discounting. When new vehicles require heavy incentives, recent owners can see trade-in values fall faster than expected. Buyers must also separate the different Jeeps. A Wrangler purchased for genuine off-road use has a different audience from a Compass or Grand Cherokee bought mainly as a suburban SUV. Check current discounts, insurance, service pricing, and nearby dealers before buying. A Jeep may still be the right emotional choice, but in 2026, it should rarely be an automatic financial choice. Brand number 12, Jaguar. Jaguar is undergoing one of the industry's most radical reinventions. Petrol-powered new car sales in Australia ended at the close of 2025 as the company prepared to relaunch as a much more expensive electric-only luxury brand. The strategy may eventually succeed, but the transition creates uncertainty for owners of the old XE, XF, F-Pace, E-Pace, F-Type, and I-Pace range. Land Rover remains active, so Jaguar owners are not dealing with a vanished parent network. However, the old lineup is being separated from the company's future identity, which can weaken used demand. Buyers may see extraordinary depreciation and assume they have found a luxury bargain. As with Maserati, repair and insurance costs still belong to a premium vehicle even when the purchase price no longer does. Until Jaguar's new range, dealer strategy and resale demand are established, buying an older model should be treated as a specialist decision rather than a safe luxury upgrade. The lesson from all 12 brands is simple. The cheapest advertised price is not always the cheapest ownership experience. Before buying, find the nearest authorized service center, Call an independent specialist. Price common parts. Compare insurance quotes. And check how many similar cars are actually selling used. Ask what happens if the importer changes, the model is discontinued, or the nearest dealer closes. A rare car can be exciting, but rarity is not always exclusivity. Sometimes it simply means fewer parts, fewer technicians, and fewer buyers when you need to sell. If this video helped you avoid an expensive mistake, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We publish practical investigations into the Australian car market, from brands losing ground to models with hidden depreciation and ownership costs. Share this video with anyone shopping for a used European luxury car, a heavily discounted SUV, or a brand that seems almost too cheap to be true. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 12 brands would you still be willing to buy in Australia? And which one would you avoid completely? Tell us the model and your reason in the comments.